Hello. My partner got me Shake Shack, and I've never had like a truffle burger before, but good goddamn does it feel incredibly decadent. And it's to celebrate the news that I am no longer going to be gainfully employed very soon. So that was a very short run of it. So anyways, hello. We're playing Of the Devil. Which I just want to get into. I feel like last week I did a very rambly and poor job of talking about the like elements of the opening screen. So what we're gonna do is, while I eat my burger, I'm just gonna let the opening screen play. And that'll be a treat for everybody. Shake Shack food is quite nice, agree. I don't think I've ever had Shake Shack before, which is wild. Am I trying to recreate my own Germa burger pick? I don't know what a Germa burger pick is, Wirebone. But no, that's just generally the face that I normally make, you know? No, this is Shake Shack, but I think this is my first time having it, Ender Friend. So you are correct. This is Shake Shack. It's just my first time, yeah. JR, good to see you. Blue Hydra, hello. Yeah, I'm having Shake Shack and commiserating on the good old days, which were literally like 2-3 days ago. You get it. It's a pic of Germa eating a burger. Then no, I'm definitely not recreating the Germa pic because this is a video. And video is obviously a superior format to photo. Come on, Wirebone. Yeah, maybe too good for having a layoff in the near future. But you know what? They say treat yourself, right? It's like, I'm pretty sure truffle oil is supposed to be insanely expensive, right? Like truffle oil is, am I thinking of something else? Am I thinking of saffron? Saffron is also expensive? I don't know. But anyways, supposedly there is truffle oil on this burger, and my brain is like too small to like fully appreciate the truffle oil that's put on it, but you know. Truffle is the new hot gimmick flavor, so you're sure there's a lot more affordable versions of it now for them to slather on things. It's good though. Okay. Truffles are expensive. Truffle oil doesn't have a huge amount of truffle in it though. Oh, the trick. The smoke and mirrors, I see. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry to be doing our girl dirty like this. But the other option is me trying to read the dialogue while eating. And nobody wants that. You've tried truffle fries and it's just okay. You think you get tired of the flavor aftertaste halfway in. Interesting. I don't know that I've ever had truffle fries. Yeah, and I'm curious. You've never had truffled. What's it taste like? I could not tell you. Because there's a lot of beef, and there's a lot of cheese, and there's bread, and there's also this like crumbly bit in here that's like breaded something that's like crunchy, and I presume that's what the truffle oil is on. I could not tell you what that taste is, so truffles taste sort of like an extra savory mushroom. Extra savory mushroom, then. You're pretty sure there's art of Morgan eating a burger? Hell yeah. Excited for live letter in 10 hours. Will I be able to catch it? Oh, that's actually very funny. Hold on, wait a second. It's 5 p.m. PST right now. So 7 gets us to midnight. And then 3 gets us to 3 a.m. Oh my god, I'm gonna be awake for the live letter organically. We'll see if I can catch some of Sheila's live translation of it. Am I excited to know what happens in the live letter? Yes. I might be picking up a little bit more streaming soon. So you wouldn't particularly describe it on fries. Yeah, describe it on fries. Gotcha. Truffle risotto. Ooh, hell yeah. Very umami and earthy. Gotcha. Yeah, supposedly MSG is umami, right? Is that a real thing that I've heard? Is that a real thing? Umami is used for like soy sauce and a lot of Asian flavors. Yeah. Growing up, did anyone else think MSG stood for my secret ingredient instead of, you know, monosodium glutamate or whatever it is? Because I used to think MSG stood for my secret ingredient. And so whenever someone said that there was a lot of MSG in it, I would go, I understand. And I literally could not understand in the slightest. Yeah, you know, the G in ingredient. Why ingredient for G? There's a G in ingredient. What do you mean, Mespia? Savory, meaty, brothy. That's what they call truffle flavors. That's a very fair point, Maz. I never even thought about the fact that it might translate obviously into different things, which makes sense. Also, it's good to see you, Hachiko. Why such a strong response to the idea that MSG stands for my secret ingredient? Also, I think I've gone my entire life without realizing ingredient doesn't start with a G. So that's fun. Listen, ingredient has a G in it. It's fine. It's like those, I was about to say it's like a slant rhyme, but it's not a slant rhyme in the slightest. Exactly. My Fun Kitchen gets it. My secret ingredient. My Fun Kitchen. 10 out of 10. You're always welcome here. Why are you on this account? I have no idea. Oh, is this Capri? Wait, Capri, when is the cooking stream? It's clearly a combined word for inside ingredient. Thank you, Ender Friend. Saturday, 5 p.m. PST. Okay. This is a wild ass plug for me to do in the middle of me not playing. I forgot to change the game from Legend of Zelda to Of the Devil. The burger distracted me. It's not my fault. Anyways, that's another thing that I have to do before we actually play the game. So a wild plug for me to do in the middle of an incorrectly titled game, as well as me eating a burger, as well as having Morgan up on the screen. But I guess drop My Fun Kitchen a follow. Sure, thank you, Mespia. Because on Saturday, they're going to be doing a cooking stream. And from what I've heard, My Fun Kitchen cooks in a way that no other human being does. From what I've heard. I've never seen it. This Saturday at 6 p.m. EST, 5 p.m. EST, I've instantly forgotten the time. It's going to be a time for us all to see with our own two eyes. Eating a burger seems like a good time to talk about a cooking stream. Fair enough. You've seen it? Would you recommend My Fun Kitchen's way of cooking, Hutchko? I would enjoy your soup burger. It's better than the one I'm eating, you're sure? My Fun Kitchen, I did try to make Salisbury steaks recently. And it really did turn out into a beef slop. So maybe we cook more similarly than I thought. 8 p.m. EST. Thank you, Mespia. My Fun Kitchen collab win. whenever My Fun Kitchen is in Washington. Twitch co-string, we both try to make the same dish. Here's the thing. There was a really long period of time where I was like, I could never do that because that would get terrible views and because we're neither of us are skilled chefs. My Fun Kitchen, if that is a legitimate ask, after this Saturday, after you've done one like stream like this and you've gotten it under your belt, let's talk. Because I actually love that idea. And because I've unshackled myself, I'm unleashed. That sounds hilarious. What? I will warn you. Mesvia's kitchen is very nice. So you're already at a disadvantage. Cooking stream on eggnog. Yeah, hold on. I know, I'm still on Breath of the Wild. We're not doing Breath of the Wild. I'm so sorry. It is. We are doing... What really sucks is that I opened up the stream to see if I could fix the fonts, which I couldn't, by the way. That's why we still have Google search Morgan Rule 34. But, you know, anyways. Ava the Protogen, hello. Do I want you to change it? It's okay, under friend. It would have been nice potentially, but do not sweat it. I got it. Typing on the keyboard with your greasy burger hands, I've used exactly one napkin. That took care of all the grease. Okay, we've kept a hot redhead waiting for too long. Let's get into the ding-dang thing, hey? And yes, we are still doing it on high roller mode. And yes, we have not played it literally any other way. You were distracted by food chat and didn't notice? Don't worry, Ender friend. Honestly, the fact that I have you and Mesvia in here at all is a blessing in my perspective. Okay. So, last time we were in the apartment of, I was about to say David Muir. That's not his name. David Ashur. We're in the apartment of David Ashur. They used a crime scene augmented reality setup to redisplay the evidence exactly as it was seen as the police came across it. We've examined the evidence, and now Serra is asking us, so, do you think you know what happened? And the answer, Serra, is that I just ate a delicious burger. I'm genuinely checking my acronym for CSI to be like, Instigated doesn't start with a G, does it? Detective, is his body still in the hospital morgue? Yeah, he's at Gatesfield, along with 100 noble megs who've all called dibs. What? Then I'll just have to cut in line. Serra, get me a ride to Gatesfield Memorial. What? You can do that, can't you? I can. But I need your payment information to get started. Oh, okay. So my PIN number is 6969. Yeah? Okay. Understood. On my way down. Got it? Sync complete. Set pickup for 10 minutes should be plenty. The crowd down there seems to have gotten quite large. 10 minutes to reach the pickup spot may be an ambitious target, Adonai. How bad can it be? Uh, 12:21 p.m., July 1st, 2086. As I approach the lobby's exit, the building's soundproofing begins to fail. The crowd has gotten bigger, but there's something else happening out there. The energy's not panicked yet, but it's creeping up on the tipping point. Are this many people pissed at Noble for selling androids? The hell's got them all so excited? Is it the, what was the name of the superstar that we might have gotten, that we got last time? The super musician? Hold on. Kaguya. We were introduced to Kaguya last time as well, so is Kaguya here and that's why there's a crowd gathered with like high energy? Adonai? What does that symbol mean? In this rabble, probably something vulgar. Which one? No! That heart with a bullet hole. I don't know. It's probably nothing. Okay, so for those of you who have not seen episode 1, seen my playthrough of episode 1, or doesn't know things about Of the Devil, there is a character called the Heartbreak Killer, whom the police have not been able to identify, and we may or may not get significant clues to their identity in episode 0. Of course. Literally, of course. In the sort of cyberpunk dystopia that Of the Devil occupies, in which there is no such thing as an unexplained death, in which there is no such thing as an unobserved crime, and the Heartbreak Killer's propensity to murdering a lot of people and not getting caught. Yeah, of course. Of course it just makes sense. Connect dots, let's say. Did I not call it episode 0? What did I call it? I don't know. It's probably nothing. Based on net associations, it appears to be a symbol for the Heartbreak Killer. Oh, did I say episode 1? My bad. We're playing episode 1 right now. Episode 0 is the one where we got some of the inside scoop, let's say. That doesn't make any goddamn sense. Why would that freak have a symbol or a following or these, whatever these people are? And why the hell would they be outside David Assure's apartment? Miss Noble's trying to cover up the truth. They are? Those Megs in there are scrambling to shred every document they can. We need to stick together, form a perimeter, and try to catch them when they go to dump the scraps. Serra, what are you hoping to find? Proof that Assure was killed for trying to blow the whistle. Blow the whistle on Heartbreak? Noble doesn't want the world to know that the A-16 is sentient and homicidal. You think that Heartbreak is an android? You think whoever did all that was human? In a manner of speaking, no. No, I don't. Noble's advanced prototype went amok and started killing random people. Don't be a lamb. It only looks random. There's a clear pattern as long as you're smart enough to see past the bullshit. There is a meme about like a guy made this post where it was like 1 in 6 men believe that they could beat Serena Williams in like a tennis match, or like they believe they could score a point on Serena Williams. And a guy made a post and it was like I'm meeting Serena Williams on the court. I introduce myself. She doesn't say anything back. I think she should smile. Women look prettier when they smile. Serena Williams serves. The tennis ball instantly pierces through my skull, killing me. And that, like, this energy right here, this one shot has very similar energy to that meme screenshot. And I cannot, like, the hilarity of this moment. Go play episode 0. It's literally free. Oh, okay. And how does one see past the bullshit? Stop engaging. Smart kid, she gets it. She's asking the right questions. What the hell are you talking about? No way those victims aren't related. It's gotta be deniable ops. Like Black Ops, sure. A fictional designation for actions whose very existence have plausible deniability. Deniable is a fictional classification for clandestine state actions that need not be taken responsibility for, because plausible deniability and military disinformation efforts create enough confusion that every party involved, even the victims, can spin the outcome to suit their own needs. No such designation exists. That's just what they want you to think. Deniable ops are a common reoccurring concept in online conspiracy theories, often used to wave away questions about why supposedly explosive events are never reported on through the media or addressed by world governments. It's also commonly claimed that deniable ops make ample use of private military contractors in order to further distance governments from the political ramifications of their military actions. Conspiracy theories are no laughing matter. If you're worried that someone you know might be being indoctrinated or spreading misinformation themselves, you can report them to the state at our non-confidential portal here. Wow, non-confidential portal? All right. They must all have been in DO together before getting their records bleached. Then as soon as they've outlived their usefulness... What are you, nuts? Everyone knows the first 6 HK got to were the 6 prototypes that came before him. Good. Real Occupy Wall Street energy here. Warm android so perfect no one could tell the diff. A bullet to the heart's the only way he could kill those other over-engineered freaks. Everyone's got a goddamn opinion. I see. Stop seeing, start moving. These people are insane. Why don't you eat some more corn slop, asshole? You think you can be the cyberpunk without ever thinking for yourself? Oh, God. Okay. Cyberpunk. Mythologized. Why do I not know how to say this word anymore? Counterculture icon or way of being. Originally a term coined in a short science fiction story. Wasn't it Neuromancer? Does Neuromancer not use the term cyberpunk? And later having grown into a genre all its own, cyberpunk historically is referred to a counterculture centered around the themes of underdogs resisting powerful corporate or government forces through digital guerrilla warfare. While the genre has persisted in modern times and evolved in numerous ways, over the last 2 decades, it has taken on a new meaning. So the last 2 decades would be 2066 to 2086, right? Taken on a new meaning as a kind of mythologized way of being for the adolescent or disaffected to aspire to. A code of conduct that emphasizes anti-authoritarianism, community organizing, corporate disengagement, and socioeconomic consciousness. The so-called singular cyberpunk has become the 21st century man without a name, a wanderer with their own rule of law. Yikes. The cyberpunk. That's so funny. Yeah, okay, hell yeah. Cultural critic Simon Essentia summarized the appeal as thus. There's no such thing as a 21st century hero. Is it any wonder the most vulnerable among us turn to the past for guidance? Users also searched for, "Get ready with me, cyberpunk." The 99 Man explained, "Are co-ops illegal?" are co-ops illegal in this world? But yeah, corn slop is very funny. You think it's a coincidence victim number 6 was working on Harco crops? They're putting something in the food. Those people, heartbreak. This is a goddamn embarrassment. The hell am I paying taxes for if the state can't shut this shit down? What about you, Adonai? What do you think about this heartbreak figure? Yeah, Morgan, what do you think about them? They're just a murderer. Should be caught and sentenced like any other murderer. It's good to see you, Clary. But they must have some reason for doing such terrible things. Aren't you curious? Why? Are some reasons for committing murder better than others? They might have experienced trauma or abuse. They might have. Millions of people experience trauma and abuse every day. Millions. Millions is also probably an underestimate, depending on what the human population is in 2086. And yet, there's only one heartbreak. So you think that they were just born that way? That's my guess. That's unsatisfying. Sad. I don't see why it would be. If heartbreak was born like that, then they never had a chance to be anything else. Weird about a predestination conversation in Of the Devil. But I guess when I say weird, that isn't appropriate. I guess predestination is sort of part and parcel with the adversary. If heartbreak was born like that, then none of us normal people have to ever worry about turning out like them. Have they not given us the profile for the Heartbreak Killer? They gave us the profile for Heartbreak Killer in episode 0. And I wish I could show you that hoodie-wearing, masked-up motherfucker. Oh yeah, there we go. That kind of predestination. It means they never have to take responsibility for what they are. The state can make them take responsibility as soon as they catch them. You make it sound so trivial. They're a very dangerous serial killer. Just a serial killer. Just. If HK shot someone every day, it would take them 1,132 years and about 11 months. In order to have killed 413,789 people. You did that in your head. I'm good at mental math. You counted the leap years. But what is the significance of that number? Deaths within 18 months of the Blakefort industrial disaster? Sure, yeah, okay. Blakefort disaster. We encountered an issue processing your request. Oh no! Congestion ahead. We're currently limiting traffic related to this particular search due to a large number of edits coming in from net addresses outside your country's borders. We're proud to fight alongside variable user country in combating disinformation by foreign actors like those in variable user adversary latest. Hilarious. You can read more about how and why this collaboration works here. Tired of running into slowdowns? So are we, but maintaining a secure data border takes resources. Contact your representative and explain why you think the national data security budget needs to be expanded using our easy right form here. Listen, at least the megacorps have already won in this world. Times that number by 2 for the injuries. Tack on another 183% for the birth defects. Right, okay. Like, obviously I get what Morgan is saying here, right? Which is that even a serial killer getting the most kills out there, whatever, would not be as dangerous as this accident that is being covered up by a megacorp. But like, that is the same sort of argument that like medieval kings used to justify going to war in France, right? Like, oh, well, if God sends a tsunami, that's gonna kill more people than my little war could. Like, it's just like, it's nothing. That's like saying the sky is blue and that is all the justification I need to do murder. Two bad things that are vaguely correlated are not a causal relationship. $413,000 dead. There wasn't anything evil about it. Just human error, some shoddy welding, and time. So you think that heartbreak is nothing, by comparison. She doesn't think that from what we've been led to believe. We've been led to believe Morgan is a narcissist. Perhaps that is the problem then. If they're nothing, if they represent nothing, then they can stand for whatever the crowd wants them to. Sure. Please make way. Officials are coming through. Please disperse. Keep walking, pigs. Fascists. Noble owns the cops. Damn, okay. Actually, can I say, fucking, I know we've already talked about how stylish Of the Devil is, but goddamn. Also, I think Serra is the one coming out like the best looking in the splash screen. Emma is a close second. I love London, so he's always in my heart. Do you think Heartbreak Killer would be good at shooters, insane Fortnite KDAs? No, and here's the reason why. I think Heartbreak Killer would go, it's nothing like a real gun. If you gave me a real gun, I would absolutely be able to pwn these noobs. But I think they would be terrible at first-person shooter. Sorry, London. I instantly got distracted. What did you say? Noble owns the cops. Oh, and then Noble goes, London goes, only the cops they build in their factories. Is that the voice I gave London before? I don't think so. Very funny. Why are we tolerating this shit? You want me to wade into the crowd with a nightstick? Prove them wrong? You know what I mean. We're the only people in this city trying to do some goddamn good, and they all just... That's just part of our job, detective. No offense, ma'am, but wearing a police badge earns you a little more hate than... Do they give prosecutors badges? Toxic Yuri, ace attorney. Toxic Yuri, ace attorney. I have an ID for the parking garage. Does that count? Depends. You ever hesitate to wear it in the open? What is this? Why are we getting this now? This moral relativism of yours seems like a strange philosophy for someone in your profession, Adonai. I do think moral relativism is the death of modern civilization. Breaking out the thesaurus on me? I'm only being realistic and humble. I'm just one woman, Serra. Whatever I do, right or wrong, it's less than a % rounding error in the grand scheme of things. Do you tell that to your clients? No, but they come to appreciate it when I win. I don't mean cops in particular. The same deal applies to anyone who works for the state. The terms are stark, but they ink dried a long time ago, and we all agreed to them. Emma, have you heard of a social contract? I don't recall voting for it. Well, not voting is how these things come to pass. So, good goddamn, Emma. We traded freedom for safety, individual rights for collective power. The state won, the citizens lost. Very least we can do is take their criticisms head on. Look, I don't have a problem with the responsibilities of authority. Only with authority being challenged. But they treat us like we're the bad guy. Well, sometimes we are. Sometimes the law is wrong. So if any given individual is too small to ever affect change. So if the public's gonna hate us no matter what we do. And if corporations and governments will trample over people the same, regardless of their character. And if we can't even be sure we're doing the right thing. What do you do, Adonai? What the hell do we do? I think it's pretty simple. It's not as complicated as you'd think. This is a wild sequencing. Like obviously, right? Like we've got the contrasting colors, red and blue, right? Like we're talking about like this. Like I could not ask for a more explicit representation of two sides of the same coin, right? Fine, sure. In times like these, in a world like this, the only logical way to live is. The only moral way to act is do whatever it takes to win. I do hate both of them, but good goddamn do I love to hate them. Yeah, the music too. If I'm insignificant in the grand scheme of things, I can do my worst and no one will notice. If power is inherently evil, holding back won't save your soul. What? Emma took the phrase, if power corrupts, absolute power corrupts absolutely, and just ran with it. All right, girl. Just fight with both barrels. And trust the opposition to do the same. Winner takes all. Hey, Theo. Good to see you. Your toxic Yuri senses are buzzing. What's up? I've got great news. In a game that has been referred to by some media experts as Toxic Yuri Ace Attorney, we're playing a visual novel of the devil. I know it is very counterproductive to my own ends, which is having people watch me, so that way Amazon gives me that sweet, sweet ad revenue. But it is my sincere recommendation. Of the Devil is a fantastic narrative. It's a fantastic game. So if you do have any desire to play something like this yourself, which I would recommend, I would definitely recommend doing so. Maybe don't watch the playthrough because it is so good. Yeah, the Nightbot timer actually weirdly working in my favor. If you go ahead and click on that link, you can go to Of the Devil's store page, and it's actually a part of the Steam Spring sale right now. So you can get it even cheaper than it normally is. You are literally getting paid to play Of the Devil, and it's good. Oh, it's good. But it's good to see you, Theo. It's been a long time. Gatesfield Memorial Hospital. So we're ostensibly going to examine the body of David Asher. Oh, thank you. You're a lifesaver. And the next time that Bridezilla texts you, just turn your phone off. Bridezilla. Chatty guy. Must have been due to go on break. When he tried and failed to find the witness's medical record, His data pad had the name blacked out. Wait, sorry, hold on. What? Oh, this is her talking to maybe the guard at the morgue, something to that effect. Okay. But I did see that they have Caduceus Executive 3, more expensive than David's, which means they most likely... How did you do that? You need to hold the button to get the doors to close faster. Mashing does nothing. That is not what I meant. There were many others who arrived before us. How did you get us down here so quickly? Well, I didn't do anything. It was that nurse who escorted us. Okay, not guard, nurse, sure. Yes, but you managed to get a stranger like him to help you with so few words, so little information. It's called lying and manipulating people. Wait, no, what is it? It's called girl boss, gaslight, gatekeep. I don't think you even gave him your name. Haven't you heard of the golden rule? Of course I have. Treat others how you would want to be treated. Wrong. Treat others how they would want to be treated. He wanted someone that he could vent to. He wanted someone to pay attention to him, and he wanted to feel appreciated, which meant he'd be eager to help given the chance. Even just reading someone's mood is quite difficult. How can you know how another person wants to be treated? There are no mind readers. No one can ever know anything about what anyone's thinking. Maybe not even themselves. Doesn't matter if they're your parent, your twin, your lover. It'll always be a gamble. That is not a very comforting sentiment. Well, I think it's fun. Only because you're good at it. How did you get good at it? It's called hypervigilantism. Morgan was probably abused a lot as a kid, and so she got very good at reading micro expressions on people. You get it. Same as anything. Observation and practice. You must have been observing and practicing for a very long time then. So, we proceed down the hall, bear left, look for the fourth door. I'm gonna open the one that says morgue on it. Oh my god! Morgue is the first 4 letters of Morgan. The fourth... Oh, hey. Come on in. Don't stand out there in the... Cold wouldn't be accurate. Sorry about the chill in here, but I run a little hot. You can see my roommates never complain. Yumi Sato, medical examiner. Yumi Sato, March 3rd, 173 centimeters, weight, blood type O negative. So I think that means Yumi Sato is a universal donor? Medical examiner, likes, accessories, reality TV, palm reading. Dislikes, social media, dress codes, ebooks. Did she have a book in this splash shot we got of her? Also, obviously, she has mods, I think, or they have mods. Loves to make new playlists. Hates to throw out old clothes. Most proud of my weekly meal prep. Sure, Sato. Yumi Sato, medical examiner. Dr. Sato, just the lady I wanted to see. Though I didn't expect that I'd get to. The fact that they've assigned a medical examiner and not some ad or junior means... So ad referring to automated dependent, junior, I assume like junior associate or whatever, right? Her birthday just passed. Oh yeah, March 3rd, excuse me. Happy birthday, Yumi. I got a corpse for you. Oh, you can just call me Yumi. And you're... Morgan. I represent the deceased. The deceased? Oh, the deceased. Sure, D. That's very funny. I represent the deceased as some sort of like supernatural ghost lawyer. Very good. Actually, it's so good I'm going to write it down. Holy shit, hold on. That's very funny. That's very funny, 10 out of 10. I represent the deceased. And the premise is like ghost lawyer. There's a lot of layers in there that could actually be very good. Notice how I did not actually take notes regarding anything involving the plot, but I have written down ghost lawyer. So that's where I am as a person. Wait, really? That's weird. I thought this time slot was scheduled for a group of noble PR people who... I know, weird, right? Well, what the hell do I know? Was getting tired of hosting Megs anyway. I gotta finish typing up this report before we talk shop, but in the meantime, feel free to make yourself at home. So, the like... In Psycho Pass, I want to say, specifically the anime adaptation, I never actually read Psycho Pass. Was there also a hot goth mommy who was a medical examiner? I can't remember. Like, it's an old trope, right? But like, I'm like trying to remember if there's like a specific analog that I'm thinking of here. Okay, so this is the morgue. We've got a little bit of time to investigate. Why not? These are air conditioning units, I guess. The woman that did the thing. Listen, Hutchko. At a certain point in time, anime just bleeds together, and I'm left here being like, you know, the anime where they eat the fruit and then they become the like best hunter ex-hunter at the Dragon Ball tournament, you know, in the anime. Oh, these are not air conditioning units. Well, that's embarrassing. Are these all dead bodies? One would hope so. I only meant that I'm surprised to see them stored here. It suggests a backlog, which suggests a higher murder rate than the public data would lead one to expect. Do you only examine bodies for the police, doctor? Oh, I wish. Nah, most of my job involves confirming VOD. COD? Casual on demand. Courtesy upon death. Cultivating oxygen dinosaurs. I have no idea what COD stands for in this situation. If they're frozen, you could use them for AC for a bit. Mess me up. Oh, cause of death. Most of my job involves confirming cause of death on natural deaths for insurance adjustments. It's not Call of Duty. Foolish of me. Is that the one where the woman redacts her dead partner in the morgue? Is that Twitch appropriate? I don't know. Psychopaths? I don't think Psychopaths is, but your brain rot was screaming Call of Duty 2, don't worry. Blue Hydra were cooked. Nah, most of my job involves confirming cause of death on natural deaths for insurance adjustments. Insurers want to blame the mod for failing. Mod makers want to blame the stiff for not exercising enough. Family says the company insurance plan would pay for mods, but not a gym membership. Yeah, that whole wall there is suspected defective liver mods, suspected leaking internal bio batteries, suspected CCIC. All right, wise guys, what does CCIC stand for? I had to scroll through to make sure that we didn't actually already know what CCIC stands for. CCIC? Climate change-induced complications. There you go. You can prove that climate change contributed to an otherwise natural death? Very, very rarely. If it can be proved, what does that mean for the family of the deceased? Plus or minus 14% on the life insurance payout? I mean, it's most of what I do, and I don't dislike my job. It's just so much of what I do just boils down to telling a bunch of cheapskates how to split the dead man's bill. It's enough to make homicide feel like a breath of fresh air. Ooh. I hope Sato... Oh my god, do you think Sato knows about the Heartbreak Killer? Morgan, you need to go to the bathroom and freshen up real fast. That's a lot of screens. There's got to be diminishing returns on productivity. As a man who only has 2 screens, all I can think about is how a 3rd screen would make me so much more productive. Why do you have so many monitors, ma'am? You can't just ask someone that. Good question. Every quarter when they do inventory and budgeting, they ask me if I need anything, and I never do, so I submit a blank form. But I guess a while back there was a +1 in the spreadsheet somewhere, and no one's ever corrected it, and so, boom. I get 4 new monitors every year. Why are we getting credits for that? Oh my god. That's very good, sure. Do you run out of things to use them for? Sometimes. But this year, I've started running 2 dramas at once when I'm doing rote work, which helps. I know I've talked about this a lot before, but I think about that time in which like a Netflix producer denied a show because the show was like too complicated. And what they said was a lot of the client base who watches Netflix are like moms or like housekeepers or like, you know, domestic bodies who are at home doing chores, and they need the plot to be basically like screamed at them. Like, I am the murderer and I am investigating the murder body because I think someone else might catch me. And then like, you know, like have the plot basically spelled out. And that's why it feels like a lot of our media is dumber, is because it literally is. It is meant to be consumed in that way. And so there's something very funny to me about the idea of being like, well, this drama is too slow and this drama is too slow. But if I put them up at the same time... You love to watch that type of shit while you draw. I have a bad time. Like, whenever I watch any sort of media, I try to like understand not only the like producer's intent behind it, the writer's intent behind it, but I also try to like predict the plot twists that may or may not be coming. And because of that, it makes it very, like, I could not watch 2 shows at once. I can barely watch 1 show at like 0.5 times speed. Watching 2 television shows at the same time helps you do rote work. Helps me use up the screens. I see. Okay. We're not going to advance though, because there's always more shit to read. Folks, we are 0 for 3 on the reading comprehension questions. I gotta get this one right, or else Of the Devil is gonna revoke my lawyer card. So, folks, focus up. We gotta critically read correctly, even once. What's this? The hospital's getting renamed? No, guess it's some other hospital that got snapped up. Oh my god. Okay, let's go. Let's focus up, lads. Hospital renamed to thank Ikaraya family. Hospital renamed to thank Ikaraya family. I thought they were saying that the hospital was renamed to thank Ikaraya family as the name of the hospital, and I was like, oh, that's a shit name for a hospital. In a hold on. In a ribbon-cutting ceremony held uptown today, Plodder Memorial Hospital was formally renamed the Northeastern Ikaraya Medical Complex in recognition of the family's incredibly generous donations over the last 7 years. It's the latest in a string of philanthropic efforts by the family to result in a name change, after they paid for the renovations to the orchestra hall and the retrofitting of what used to be known as the Scout Arena. But it wasn't so long ago that the Ikaraya were better known for drawing blood than donating it. Back before the 50s, they had a fearsome reputation for cutthroat business practices that had their business rivals going so far as to accuse them of involvement with organized crime. After the founding of Regen Medical over 25 years ago and its subsequent sale, the Ikaraya have moved out of the business world and into the upper echelons of society. That some are mockingly referred to as the Neo-bility, a generation of newly minted aristocrats, born from the unique and chaotic economics of the mid-21st century and the Red Decade. I fucking love Neo-bility. Oh, they're your people? Mespia? Me too. I'm already in. I don't need to know anything else. Like, we need to figure out how to do noblesse oblige, but it's neo-bliss oblige. Oh, fuck. Could you imagine like a drug that is like only for blue bloods and it's called like neo-bliss? Something like that. Or like it is literally an opiate of the masses where they like give them to like poor people to like stop them from like rebelling and like bliss them out. Anyways, we gotta move on. We gotta move on. Neo-bility, newly minted aristocrats, Red Decade is new information for us. When asked her opinion on those who'd label her family House Ikaraya at the hospital's renaming ceremony, Regen, board member Mirai Ikaraya had this to say. In this country, anyone can make a name for themselves so long as they're willing to put in the work. Mock new money all you want, but the truth is that success is all about reinventing yourself. And the only ones uncomfortable with that are, pull yourself up by your bootstraps. Are you drowning? Just stop. Dying from lack of oxygen? Breathe more. Feeling sad? Be happy. That's how the rich and famous do it. We're working hard to print out the rest of your article, character by character. It's tough work, but we'd be able to go about it a lot faster if you'd leave a tip. Want to drop your payment info in the jar? Ikaraya. Guess they weren't always in the same line of work. Yeah, okay, so it's just the article. Now they're plastering their name wherever to get themselves a healthcare monopoly. New image. That one does not require any thinking. I cannot believe of the like 4 articles we have read, that is the only one where I have gotten the right takeaway. I'm furious with myself. I hate this video game. Actually, maybe the writing is bad. Here's the thing. Maybe the writing of The Devil is terrible, and the writer has just like paid me. Have you guys considered that? Have you considered that I'm just getting paid under the table by Nth Circle Studios, and that's where all my love for them comes from? It's all about the money. All the Neobility are eager to prop up their image wherever they can. Is Neobility, did we get a term for it? Oh, we did, actually. Slander. Listen, Clary. And Cass, thank you so much for the sub. I do have text-to-speech off right now. But real fast, for re-upping your sub with us for 31 months. As a little treat, because I do actually really like this. Curse you, Bale! I hereby vow you will rue this day. Behold, a true Drake warrior, and I, Egon, your fears made flesh. Solid of scale you might be, foul dragon, but I will riddle with holes your rotten hide, with a hail of harpoons, with every last drop of my being. What's really funny is that fight in Elden Ring is like the quintessential experience for Ishgard for me. This is nothing for no one, so we're moving on. But, okay, Neobility. Actually the thing that I want to read. Neobility, derogatory slang for Novo Riche family. Slang term for the Novo Riche, new money, families that arose in the second half of the 21st century amid global economic turmoil. The name carries a negative connotation and is meant to criticize the way said families supposedly style themselves as nobility, or even as a second state that administers global power alongside the first, governments, and third, corporations. Oh, that's so funny. So obviously in the real world, we know that the third estate is normally referred to as the church. So having corporations take that position is... Users also frequently searched for who are Neobility families, how to marry into wealth, define a Novo. Very funny. Okay. Mespia, if I'm not mistaken, you could call the Vanderbilts Novo Riche. But that must go double for the Icarians. Assuming the truth about their criminal past is anywhere close to the rumors. Yes and no? Yeah? Keep finishing up over there? Right, okay. So, what's up? Thanks for your time, Dr. Sato. My first question would be, what was the cause of death? Oh, wow. Hi there, cute android. I didn't even realize it was really cute. The skin is... that's remarkable. Is Sato coming on to Serra right now? Even just looking close, you can tell. They really are warm. Oh, Serra. Still not quite human body temperature, but they've come a long way. The early gens all looked flushed, felt like they were always running a fever, and they ran like it too. Even 2 years ago, the average warm android only lasted... Sorry, but the circumstances surrounding this particular case call for expediency. Right. So, what can I tell you? Okay, and again, we know that we can ask both of these. Vanderbilt is a name associated with money as far back as the early 1800s. More RP character energy cast, but also fair, yeah. Old blood disgraced and then bought again, so it depends on how you look at it. Boom and bust. A tale as old as time. Were you able to determine the cause of death? Well, cause of death, sure. We got that much figured out at least. Why doesn't that sound particularly reassuring? Dr. Assured died of respiratory failure. Not enough oxygen in the blood, not enough blood going to the brain. Root cause being widespread depression of the central nervous system. What would the symptoms be? What would it have looked like? Lightheadedness, followed by dizziness, then headache, slurred speech, exhaustion, loss of consciousness, and finally respiratory arrest. This description is actually making me feel mildly uncomfortable. Because I am actually extremely squeamish. Report shows that the EMTs tried intubation, then resuscitation through electrical stimulation repeatedly. By the time he got to the emergency room, they were desperate enough to attempt direct artificial blood oxygenation, but it was too late. And you're certain of all this? Oh, well, most of it, sweetie. Most of it? Yeah, it's turned into quite the puzzle, and I'm used to having more pieces to start with. I was surprised a man as rich and famous as him didn't have any kind of biomes, but his files show. Biomes, slang for biomonitor. Biomonitor is a general-use term for wearable technology or implanted mods that monitor and provide feedback on an individual's vital signs. Commonplace among the affluent as an additional layer of security, biome use is relatively rare among the middle class. Some sociologists and consumer trend analysts point to anxieties about the climate, pollution, and stresses of modern life as to why adoption of biomonitors has met resistance with medium-wage earners. If one's health is already assumed to be poor, constant knowledge of its status might be considered uncomfortable. Fair enough. Biomonitors are also frequently employed by incarceration, probation, and workplace health initiative programs. Did Carlos from episode 0 have a biome? He wasn't a viable candidate for modding. Yeah, that's right. Without that kind of first-hand tech, we don't have nearly as much data as we'd like. But he was extensively monitored from the moments the EMTs arrived. We're very certain about our conclusion. Yeah, I know Carlos had the prosthetic arm. He got it modded so that way he would be able to do his job better. And then there was this thing about him getting fired, I think. But he was also suffering from some sort of like mod rejection medical situation, right? Did you find anything else unusual about his body in your examination? Cuts or bruises? No injection sites, nothing in any cavities. Nothing at all, huh? Top screen. Excuse me. The police mentioned a talk screen. Yeah, that's the thing. They ran a talk screen when he first arrived. Typical diagnostic intake procedure. Based on the emergency call, they figured he must have overdosed on something. But the talk screen gave them nothing. Test performed on David Asher when he arrived at Gatesfield Memorial Hospital to determine what, if any, illicit substances were in his body. Alcohol was the only item positively identified at the time. Or? After he died, we performed the broadest screenings possible. Nothing. So were you forced to conclude this was a natural death? I didn't give up that easy. I took blood samples and compared their makeup with what was on record from his previous medical history. And I managed to isolate a single, non-naturally occurring chemical compound that wasn't there before. What was it? Some exotic toxin from a different hemisphere? I wish. I ran it through every available database we have access to, and even a few I only sort of have access to through some friends. Not only does it not match any known poison, it doesn't match the chemical makeup of any registered compound. Sure. So, a designer drug, huh? That seems to be the best explanation. What the hell did you do, Dave? You said it didn't match any registered compound. What about compounds that aren't registered? Those wouldn't be in the database. Right? Ostensibly? Those friends of yours, private sector folks? Yeah, in pharmaceuticals. Wow. Really the Persona 5 hot goth mommy doctor. If one of them patented a new compound, a new drug, what would keep its formula from going on the record? In the private sector, intellectual privacy is the norm. so you're expected to protect your research aggressively. Patent first, find a use later. Yeah. A patent would have to at least describe your compound in brief, but depending on what country you file in. I think our friend Raja is a patent lawyer. Can anybody ring up Raja real fast? I've heard it may be considered prudent to keep the actual chemical makeup off the record. Four elemental, hell yeah. This world's monetary inflation is insane. To learn more, Google search "of the devil inflation." Four elemental, can I steal that from you for the little search bar up top? Alas, he's so buried in lawyer work right now that he's been working 13-hour days. You know what? That does not surprise me for Raja, and we need more good people out there doing it, right? So. Smart. Using international IP law as your own personal minefield. How so? Whenever you're ahead, patent as much as you can, as fast as you can, but bury the formulae so no one knows where it's safe to walk. Anybody small and ambitious comes along, finds a new drug they're excited about, you flip up your card, let them know you came up with the idea years ago, and that you'll give them death by 1,000 court dates if they so much as blink. That's happening in the real world right now. I may not, you just patented and trademarked it. Well, little did you know, Four Elemental, that I'm the cyberpunk. This is not a good bit. It's so long and wordy. Oh, I've truly made a mistake. Google search. Oh, it's so long. I also typed in good search, skill issue. Yeah, actually, you know what? We could give it a horizontal scroll. Hold on. Want to know more about of the devil's economy? Google search. I'm actually surprised you guys can still hear me because it looks like there should be an ad break going on right now. Okay, filter, scroll, and then we'll do a horizontal scroll. This is not my finest hour, but it's okay because it's Four Elemental's finest hour. Okay. Your ad was 15 seconds? God, to be the 15-second ad boy. Okay. The bit is done. The ad break should be about done. So pretend that I did that bit for people out there who were stuck in ad hell. Love you. Okay. Did I misspell inflation? No! God damn it. All right. Okay. Wouldn't work on anyone your size or bigger. They could punch back. But for the rest of the fields? Wow, you corporate lawyers are scary. Actually, hold on. Yeah. I'm not a corporate lawyer. So you came up with that strategy just now? So it's possible that this poison is actually a known substance, something that the hospital could have easily identified if it wasn't considered a trade secret. Yes, unfortunately, that is a possibility. Still, just because a drug is new, that doesn't mean it's original. Does the effect that this compound had remind you of any other drug? Maybe one that's prescription only, or a controlled substance, one that you might know by another name, but with a patented structure. Sorry, sweetheart. It's a general depressant. There are a lot of drugs that have that effect on the body, and they come in all shapes and sizes from all kinds of places. If the effect was unremarkable, what about its strength? Could you estimate how much of this stuff he had in his body all told? Not precisely, no. Not without detailed knowledge on its half-life, but I'd guess that it must have been about 20 milligrams? Is 20 milligrams a lot? Not for a medicine. So this wasn't just an overdose of something relatively harmless then. No. Not if 20 mil was enough to crash his entire nervous system. Thank you, Yumi. Of course. So is she gonna ask Morgan out on a date? Lost consciousness at 8:03, declared dead at 8:25, 22 minutes. Redacted presiding. Why is it redacted? Shouldn't it have been Yumi Sato presiding? Cause of death, respiratory failure. Unknown substance detected in bloodstream, approximately 20 milligrams total. The loud curling handwriting at the bottom of this document reads, "What the hell is talk screen? Send attending physicians back to med school. Send apologies to attending physicians. These readings are a nightmare." Where the hell is talk screen, maybe? WTH. Hey, Pixie. Oh no. Sorry, Yumi. I've just got a specific energy on the brain. You get it. You ready to view the body? We could skip it if you want. I know most people get squeamish around corpses. Yeah, that. Another one of these. Interior morgue day. Morgan shouldn't be a problem. Line number 00498. Why shouldn't it be a problem, Morgan? Okay then, let's get started. All right, I'll just step out for a moment to give you some privacy. Yumi Sato returns, and Morgan just has David Asher's heart in her hands, her mouth covered in blood and viscera. Yes, please. Thank you. The last time we talked was on a Sunday. You were complaining. I remember that. It's the principle of the matter. Right, you had ordered this cheap piece of shit sculpture or something by mistake, and it came damaged, and you wanted to send it back for a refund. I gently reminded you how, with your salary, it was literally not worth your time. And I kindly offered to throw it out for you, since you're having so much trouble letting go. You're only offering because you want to see how loud it sounds shattering at the bottom of my trash can. I denied it, even though you were right and it was obvious. I should have let you have that one. I just don't believe that Morgan is actually heartbroken about the death of David Asher. I don't think Serra killed David. There's a part of me that is curious about that. Maybe there's obviously a line here about maybe the warm android's blood is the thing that killed David. Maybe a little bit of that was injected into David, and David's doing that on purpose to stop the Android 16 line, something like that. Like there's like something. There's something weird about Morgan being sad that her friend is dead. And I know that makes me sound like the sociopath, but it's Morgan is the sociopath, right? Like this is weird. It is weird for her to be in a state of denial. It is weird for her to be in a state of mourning, not because that's not like a normal thing to do, but because it feels like it's not a Morgan thing to do. I thought that he would look different, but he looks exactly the same as I remember. His skin is pale, and he's very still. But his face is the same. His hair, his hands. So, fun fact about working on cadavers, if you're in medical school, they cover up the hands, I think, to try and make it feel less like you're working on a deceased human body, right? You were expecting something more drastic? The last time I saw him, he was alive. He smiled, and he told me he would see me soon. Now he is dead. Something is gone, and I can't find the difference. I'm trying to look harder, but I think I might just not be capable of it. And I wonder why. Why I was created to not be capable. Could be an issue of skill. No, Pixie, I don't think it's what her character would do, based off of a lot of evidence. But again, I don't have the full picture, right? We don't know about her tragic backstory that's being alluded to. Or maybe it's not something that can be seen, no matter how hard you look. But it's there. I guarantee it. I've seen the transition enough times to be sure that between life and death, the distinction has significance. Oh, you've only done it 6 times. To the dead, at the very least. Oh, okay. You're going to smoke. Here. Now. I'll pay the fine. That's not the issue. Were you expecting me to fall to pieces? Real boys grieve in all kinds of ways, Pinocchio. And some don't grieve at all, it seems. I'm a cold woman. Sorry to disappoint. The hell? Why the hell won't this thing light? Adonai. You have your cigarette backwards. This is weird. I don't like it. Narcissists can have feelings too. She's not just a narcissist, though. Well, okay. To be clear, I don't know anything about Morgan, right? In much the same way that the game is making a criticism about people who just read about things online without the complete information, right? Like, what we know about Morgan has been given to us through a very specific filter. And so obviously the point is that they're withholding information. That's like a end circle like trick at this point, right? Is like in model employee, like what Penny actually meant was like something that was held in reserve. in March in Line. I accidentally went for the true end, or the like secret ending route, and not the like romance option route. And there's like a whole bunch of stuff sort of being held in reserve there. Obviously, there are more things about Morgan that we're going to uncover, but like using grief to humanize her is strange to me. And not like in a bad way necessarily. It's strange. All right, that's back into cold storage for him, so. Need anything else? Can you send me the chemical makeup of that compound you isolated? Sure, for what it's worth. Let me just... It's got carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, hydrogen with hexagonal structures. So it's organic, but there's a number of metallic elements too. And if you had to speculate on its intended use based on what we know of its structure, well, it certainly acted like a depressant, binding to receptor pathways and affecting the balance of neurotransmitter reuptake. Is that a depressant, or it could also be an SSRI? Depressants are pretty rare in the designer drug scene. True, people are always looking for a higher high or a crazier trip, but a more powerful depressant will just make you fall asleep. Not much need to hit up the gray market for that kind of experience. No, there's not. I see. Thanks again. You've been extremely helpful during a very difficult time. Hey, anything you need, give me a ring. That's very generous. Rockford's orders got me on call, so I'm already getting overtime for the whole weekend. Glad to hear it. Goodbye, Yumi. And goodbye to you, Greenie. My name is Serra. Nice to meet you, Serra. Okay. So 2 hours later. Up on-ramps and down off-ramps, above skywalks and under tram lines. The buildings get progressively more polished as we head into the most economically developed part of the city. Corporate territory, national headquarters for the likes of Howe Industries, Lock-Coon, Tethys, Neath. Tethys obviously is funny. Neath? Is that a piece of mythology? Is that the name of the underworld in something? Each of them sheltering their own micro-city of employee accommodations beneath their skyscraper shadows. Whale Fall. The entirety of the ocean floor coming together to feast and grow and live. Live off the fetid, rotting fat of the leviathans that swallow generations of people by the mouthful. Weight is commonly listed, and my weight is... Do I really have to disclose that? Noble lays claim to one of the largest shadows in the city, a towering nerve center for the whole nation's android industry. It's meant to be intimidating, I'm sure, but today I'm glad that Noble keeps such a sizable physical presence here. Yeah, so we do know a little bit about Tethys, Pixie, because that was the name of the Amazon Corporation in one of their other games of the devil. Google says Neath was an Egyptian goddess. Interesting. Okay. I need answers about David and his work on Serra. Answers I'd never get browsing the company website or speaking to a representative. Synopsis. Relationships. There are typically trivia sections as well. Should I start there? Noble will have their guard up, of course, but even that will tell me something. Where they let me walk, who they let me talk to. History. Their efforts at performative transparency and clumsy obfuscation will... How did you know my father? What? I'm sorry. Did I interrupt your brooding? No. What did you ask? My father. I know you were his friend. But what was your relationship like? They were, college friends, right? Can't you just scroll through our socials? Father avoided social media. Smart man. And your online presence is not significant. You saying I don't have enough followers? Essentially. Yeah, we went to the same college. You studied programming. No, I studied all kinds of different things as an undergrad, but not technology. Is that a good way to prepare for law school? I wasn't preparing for law school. Or anything else, really. David, though, he had talent, and he knew he wanted to do something with it. He studied programming, robotics, discrete math, cybernetics. What classes did you share then? Business ethics. I was the second best student in the class, and he was the first. He was the one who asked the most questions. Not sure about his actual ranking. He found the course challenging, and I clearly didn't, despite being younger. Guess he felt burned. He'd come up to me after class to argue, and sometimes to ask for help. Father always talked about socializing like it was a chore. It was kind of you to give him a chance. What, like I was some kind of social butterfly? The belle of the ball? You weren't. One Sunday night, he knocked on my door all panicked, saying he was in bad shape for this tech course. There was a midterm or something the next day. I couldn't make heads or tails of the material, but I did my best to at least quiz him. He wasn't satisfied, though, wanted to cram for the rest of the night. Father had to cram for an undergraduate midterm. Should I say something scandalous? He's been called the founder of modern programming. Yeah, well, even founder types can have poor time management when they're 21. He was already fried by that point. Wasn't hard to tell what he was really asking for. So I went and stole a study aid for him. You stole a controlled substance just to help him with studying. No, that'd be insane. No, I just pocketed some breath mints from the common room. Told him to pinch his nose and swallow fast, because the taste is so strong. You gave him a placebo. He already knew that the content as good as he ever would. What he needed was to sleep. He could barely keep his eyes open by the time I got back from my daring heist. Didn't take much convincing for him to rest his eyes, just until it kicked in. And the test. B+, I think. Fun fact, I went through a semester of college where I got all Bs, and in a very typically Asian household kind of way. They were like, no, that's okay. You'll do better next semester. I did not do better next semester, chat. I'm surprised that Father stayed close with you after that. You stole and lied to him. I stole and lied for him. And David understood that. He was good at understanding things without me having to spell them out. But I guess that's not the kind of thing that gets passed down through programming. Anyway, we kept in touch after that. First year of grad school, he published this paper, The Turing Solution, a framework for programming adaptive linguistic heuristics. One of his advisors came up with that title. David thought it was way too cocky, but it still hasn't failed any known Turing test in the years since. Don't act like you're the one who deserves credit for it. called me for one weekend asking for advice on how to handle all the attention. Job offers, interviews, apprenticeships, invitations to immigrate. What did you tell him? I don't remember telling him anything, actually. A lot of our conversations went like that. He would talk to me about whatever personal or professional problem was stuck in his head that day, and I would nod while he wore himself out. And at the end of the conversation, he'd thank me, even though I hadn't offered a single word of advice. It's, rubber ducking, right? A lot of programmers do it. Yeah, Red Jacket. Hey, is this music from the game? Love it. It is from the game, and you can enjoy this music too if you click on that link up there for the Steam page of the Devil. Of the Devil is on sale in the Steam Spring Sale right now. He took Noble's offer, and they took over his education, paid him to work on his master's during the day, and attend corporate training at night. And whatever else Noble may be, they were smart enough to start listening to him early. You are referring to his one-point doctrine. Quality over quantity. Simple and elegant, just like his code. Simple and elegant. But anathema to a global corporation with supply chains designed for maximum capacity and just-in-time manufacturing. But obviously, they got over their distaste fast enough. In the span of a few years, Noble's gone from making manual labor ads for meager profit to being the world leader in intelligence as a service. Even as he was making money hand over fist, he still kept in contact with a nobody like me. I moved to the city for my apprenticeship. He helped me put a down payment on my apartment, then made up excuses as to why he couldn't help me move boxes. So is that enough detail for you? Thoroughly convinced that he and I were, in fact, friends? I am. But, Adonai, the favor that you owe him, what was it for? It's gotta be for freaking hiding the bodies or something, right? That's private. Understand? I have zero interest in talking about it with you. Say you understand. I understand, Adonai. We will be arriving shortly. Shall I send word ahead? Just tell them that David's lawyer is here. 12:49, July 1st, 2086. I am going to be 10 seconds, lads. I gotta grab my water. I'm very thirsty. Amuse yourselves. Chat, I said amuse yourselves, and no one is amusing themselves, unless you're all so quiet because you're fiddling your violin. Which is extremely understandable. I like the way, because like, I always thought the fiddle was a different instrument, and I like the idea that just the way that you play the violin transforms it from a violin to a fiddle. I think that's a very neat idea. All right, let's rock and roll, boyos. 2:49 p.m., July 1st, 2086. Same day, not too much longer after the morgue. Noble Electronics Northeastern Headquarters. Sub-lobby A8. Might be tuning as well. Very fair, Pixie, yeah. Damn, Noble. I've been here before. Sat right here in this lobby, waiting for David to come and treat me to lunch. At least, I think it was this lobby. Blah, 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 blah. Could have been some other floor. Could have been an entirely different building. All these corporate towers of Babel feel like interchangeable fractals to me, holding in on themselves like in patterns of narcissistic paranoia. So monumental in the scale of their hubris, they needed to use non-Euclidean geometry when drawing up the blueprints. The greatest minds of each generation coming together, just to find the most expensive way to shove their heads up their asses. Adonai, is something bothering you? Just doing the math on how long we'll be kept waiting here. Apparently, someone will be here shortly. So maybe if I pass the time by glaring around the place, it'll improve my mood. Doing a little bit of research, you say? Doing a little bit of investigato? So much energy. So many people, all so intent. You kidding? It's Saturday. The place is half empty. But doesn't everyone work on Saturdays? All the parents do, so they don't need to find childcare on Sunday. Everyone else flips a coin, I guess. All these people, for 12 hours a day, 6 days a week. What could they all possibly be doing? Yeah, Tethys, the real corporation that I work for right now until my upcoming termination. What could you have all those people be doing? Making work for themselves. You can be very cynical, can't you? Yeah, I'm terrible. But that guy over there has just been jiggling his cursor for the last 20 seconds. Me? Well, I've been jiggling my cursor. I was trying to do the jorking my peanuts meme. Does anyone know that meme? Or is that too old at this point? He's working on his APM. Don't be mean to him. They changed the logo again. Noble Electronics. How's it feel stepping in here? Is this some kind of religious experience for you? It's just the corporation where my father worked. Careful now, or they'll burn you for heresy against the company. You said it again. The company, as if it's a proper noun. God, literally, I love the writers of this game. You're mimicking the employees, aren't you? So it can't obey simple orders, but it can pick up on that? Is it just a part of the corporate culture? Noble's one of the biggest corporations there is. One of the biggest there's ever been. Just like Weyland-Yutani and Alien. And Sir Terrier, hey, it was funny, thank you. Unless you're referring to the original meme, which was jorking my peanuts. In which case, also funny. Also thank you for acknowledging it. No thank you for not telling me that I'm the funniest guy you've ever met. But choose your next words carefully. We mere humans can't hope to escape the gravity of anything that size, no matter where you live or how far off the grid you think you are. So imagine what it's like working for them. You live in company dorms, work in company quarters. Wherever you go, that logo's above your head. You eat, sleep, and breathe on Noble's timetable at its discretion. When you spend your whole life inside of it, Noble must feel big enough to be the only company there is. So this was a big problem with the railroads in the United States. And I'm sure there are other instances of it, of course, around the world, but I'm only familiar so intimately with United States history. But this is the reason why company script is... I'm going to say outlawed with obvious caveats therein. But the idea was, right, that like there would be these companies and the companies would pay you not in legal United States tender, but in script for the inside of the company. And so you would take your script to the company store, buy company products at insane markups, and sort of live your entire life that way. And obviously that was considered, morally bankrupt, and eventually was considered a big enough of a problem to raise a stink about it. But some days it really feels like we've just sort of walked a little bit further outside the perimeter and we're still doing the exact same things, hey? To think this is only one room. This complex is so massive that it doesn't even feel man-made. It's like it was carved out of the rock by waves, like it's always been here. That's the con. If this place was actually natural, there'd be birds everywhere. I hadn't considered that. Why aren't there birds in here? Because birds poop. Probably because of what they do to the ones that get in. I'm kidding. Though I don't have a better explanation. Whoever comes to greet us better have a pulse and some goddamn authority. My mood's starting to sour, and if they just send me the first link in their infinite chain of corporate bureaucracy, I'll make them wish. Morgan? Is this is an insane coincidence, right? Like, obviously Elish does not have a monopoly on emo boy bang haircut. But this is an insane coincidence, right? There's so much here. Oh, there's so much here. All right, sir. God, here's the thing: is I think I'm gonna hate him. I think I'm gonna hate him. I think I'm gonna hate him so much. That's me. Hey there. Android Manufacturing Quality Control, Eastern Division. Evan Doss. He does look like a sopping wet, pathetic Elish. Oh yeah, the poison. Watch the poison turn out to be the exact chemical makeup of like a breath mint. Oh man, Evan Dawes. I hate how much I love you. August 1st, height 189 centimeters. What is 5 feet 11 inches in centimeters? Okay, he's actually, no, what? Yeah, okay. He's actually taller than me and than Elish, so. Weight 78 kilograms, blood type A negative, so he can donate both to A positive and to A negative. Occupation, chief supervisor, Android Manufacturing Quality Control. Evan Dawes killed David Asher. And the reason why I know this for a fact is because he looks like a sopping wet Elish, so. Likes, hammocks, calligraphy, pale ale. Oh, It's like a really weird collection of things, but sure. Dislikes first dates, conference calls, 5 o'clock shadow. Proud of his practice handshake. Struggles with complications. I hate this man. I hate you, Evan Dawes. And do not be mistaken into thinking that the fact that you look like my beautiful, beautiful boy is enough to make me like you. I'm onto your shit. Evan, tuck in your shirt. Look at this half tucked in shirt, Evan. Evan Dawes, he says, like it's an afterthought. What's a name compared to your place in the hierarchy? God, what voice are we gonna give him? Because I'm not giving him Elish's voice, that's for goddamn sure. I'm Evan Dawes. I'm squeaky because I'm pathetic and miserable. You seem familiar. Have you? I'm David's lawyer. Oh, then we must have... Apologies. Let me just say how sorry I am. Let me first just say how sorry I am about his passing. You and everyone else at the company must be going through a lot right now. If it's a proper noun. Thank you for taking the time to meet with me. You're welcome. It's no big deal. Everyone's on the razor today, but what else is new? His pouty, downcast expression. I hate him! I hate you, Evan Dawes! And compared to PR or legal right now, our workloads in quality assurance are... Never mind. How can I assist you? Shortly before his passing, David Ashore began the process of registering this android. Yes, that is correct. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to finish the job. Look at that. It's definitely custom. Gee, you think? Good thing I sought out an expert. Warm, it goes without saying. Reminds me of the A16 Premiere, if anything. Oh my god! His little gloves, so that way he can, like, do the, like, hollow screens, and, like, the fact that he's, like, pulled up 4 of them, the, like, shadow under his eyes from being overworked and so incredibly tired. The fact that he's like, my place in the hierarchy before his own name. I hate you, Evan Dawes. The barcode is clearly printed, no visible defects. But you're right, it doesn't correspond to anything we've got on file. Well, they sent you the right man for the job. Now we just need to go to the right place. Not far, I hope? It's in the building. In the building. That could mean anything from down the hall to half a day's hike. The production line on B9 should have everything we need. You do manufacturing inside your corporate headquarters? B9's a fully functional production floor, but it was only built for demonstrative purposes. New clients make deals upstairs about how many and in what size and shape. Then they come down to the basement to see how the sausage is made. They have enough money to build a fake factory just for guests? Smart. So long as you're only giving tours and not giving away company secrets. No need to worry about that. We take intellectual security very seriously around here. Dawes, if you're like secretly like some sort of like infosec guy for the company, God, I hate you. No kidding. There are 11 cameras on us at the moment that I can see. And who knows how many pairs of modded eyes are aimed our way. Clearly, nothing happens here without the almighty company knowing about it. So if they try to claim ignorance about anything, it's going to piss me off. Lead the way. So about another 20, 30 minutes. I do have a weakness for that, like, typing, like, typewriter sound effect. Very good. Basement floor 9. If there's anyone who's confused about my reaction to Evan Dawes, it's that my character in Final Fantasy XIV, Elish, looks only remotely similar. And the only remote similarity is that he's like very pale and he has a very similar hairstyle. But it is wild to me how similar I feel like they are. Except instead of Ishgard, it's a megacorp arcology, right? It really is fully furnished down here. I don't want to take up too much of your time, but it's pretty rare to get to see all this in person, you know? Would you mind terribly if I looked around for a moment? No problem. I've got some preliminary paperwork I need to handle anyway, so have at it. I'd better take full advantage. I'll need more than cursory knowledge if I want to figure out where Serra came from and why David wanted me to take custody. I'm gonna look around. You stay put in the meantime. Ada and I wouldn't want to lose you among the rest of the merchandise. What's being built out there? Our top-of-the-line, brand-new bestsellers, the Animate 16, Warm. Looks kind of cold out there. We keep the factory floor refrigerated. Slows the organics already tuned metabolic activity to a minimum. That explains why the room doesn't smell like rotting flesh. The flesh out there is only somewhat rotting. Slowly. I just meant I'm surprised to see metal. Oh, well, all the A16s have alloy endoskeletons. The organics are layered on later in the process. Sounds like what Serra told me about herself. Maybe she really was the A16's prototype. But it's hard to imagine bridging the gap between her and these scattered doll parts. I get that you can grow just about anything from Lax Gemini. But how do you do the synthetic and how do you get the synthetic and organic to work together? Yeah, that was our first concern when R&D began work on the Warm concept. The 1.0s were real skin with synthetic muscle. It's just like this like distant look in his eye when he's like remembering something that haunts him. And it was a horror show. Metal pulling on skin was just right. For 2.0, they worked backwards. Organic muscle, organic skin, but digital signals on organic hardware was a dead end. Didn't the muscles flex when you passed an electric current through them? They'd flex and unflex, sure, but that's not nearly enough precision for facial expressions. That's so funny. Oh my god, hell yeah. Looked like puppets strung up on live wires. We used the test footage to haze interns, actually. You must have figured something out. The A16 wouldn't look out of place on the runway. Thank you. We try. We ended up reaching out to mod companies.
Well, we actually just bought out a half dozen of them, but... Right. They figured out how to get human nervous systems moving mechanical limbs decades ago. So we just needed to get a mechanical nervous system to move living limbs.
But like, what's interesting here is like, look at Dawes' whole thing. He's got like a Bluetooth headset. He's got these gloves. He doesn't have any mods on it. Why? Just because he's rich? Very clumsy attempt to avoid using the word human.
High-precision mods are slotted straight into the nervous system. They receive their input from neurotransmitters, not bioelectricity. So you had to do the opposite.
Exactly.
We created a synthetic neurotransmitter that our androids could use to communicate with organic flesh.
Where did that breakthrough come from? Dr. Ashur?
Partly. He led the team that built the motor neurons in this analogy. They carry commands from the central nervous OS to individual muscles across the chassis. But the the synthetic analog serotonin, that was actually an old brainchild from the VP of Android Futures, Helen Jung.
Jung. Hasn't David mentioned Dr. Jung before? Sounds impressive.
He's one hell of a biochemist. Or she was, I guess. Not much time for individual lab work when you get to her kind of pay grade.
So Jung collaborated with David on the technology that enabled warm androids. As I thought, whatever went into Serra that makes the android so distinct, he couldn't have taken sole credit for it. Jung, did he partner with her on this? We're gonna finish investigating this place, but we're gonna have to call it. I cannot believe the similarities between Evan Dawes and Elish. It feels serendipitous. It feels like a complete raw coincidence. This seems to share some components with that coffin Serra was mapping in. If Dawes does quality assurance, is it some kind of android calibration device? It's probably what he'll use to register Serra. Looks a little... Is Serra tall enough for it to recognize her? There's something out there that caught my eye when we came in. A very familiar shade of crimson. If I squint through the glass out on the floor, there are temperature-controlled fluid tanks. Through glass and plastic flows an eye-catching scarlet that transitions into... So you add the blood towards the end?
You mean the oxidant?
Yeah, relatively late in the process. God. I can just imagine Elish go, like, someone being like, oh, so, like, when do you torture them? And Elish is like, oh, do you mean the enhanced interrogation techniques?
Something out of place?
Androids have blood, even if it's not officially labeled as such, but it isn't red, it's pink. Sometimes milky, sometimes neon, occasionally garish, but pink. I just didn't think the oxidant would be red. Zalkel, thank you so much for the raid! Welcome in, Raiders! How was Baldur's Gate 3? Yeah, we're finishing up our stream today of The Devil, which is a visual novel that was made by End Circle Studios. It's a phenomenal experience if you haven't heard me raving about it already. And if you have and haven't checked out the demo, do so, it's free. So yeah, it was fun. You paid Auntie Ethel a visit. Oh, lotions and potions, dearie. And thank you both Enderfriend and Mesphere for doing that shout out. Yeah, drop that all if you haven't. But yeah, loved Auntie Ethel, loved the concept behind her little area. Wasn't thrilled with the execution, but yeah. Zal, you might not have really thought about my Warrior of Light, but does this guy kind of look like him?
I've been kind of losing my mind about this. And the thing that is funny about this comparison is it's just the hairstyle. But also, you love Auntie Ethel's trash talking. It is very funny stuff for sure, yeah. A little bit, just less blonde. I know. Oh, it's making me lose my mind. Anyways, it's okay. But yeah, thank you so much for coming in, Zal. Good to see you as well, Theramond. I'm on the opposite side of the country from you, but no less screwed by capitalism, so, you know, that's fun. Good to see you guys. Oh, right, sorry. I barely notice it at this point. The color's natural. Comes from the biomanufacturing process. That chromofuge out there removes the byproducts, the waste, the excess pigment, changing it from blood red to psychopop pink. Without that chromofuge, our android's flesh would come out looking all the wrong colors. That may be true. It probably isn't, but it may be. I know, Faramir. Just come out to Seattle for SakuraCon. Capitalism is the real hag here. Very true, Zal. You missed your chance for a comparatively easy real-world DeMaiste hang. I know. Listen, we just gotta hang out. We'll go on a date on the Space Needle or something. You get it. But I have a simpler explanation. Blood is primal. The sight of it carries weight. They change the color of their product's blood so that when an android gets a bottle broken against its face, no one bats an eye. Fair enough. Chromofuge, manufacturing machinery that processes organic fluids used in the production of warm androids, removes byproducts, impurities, and pigments from androids' blood, thereby changing its color from red to pink. Why is this in our evidence file? Hey, gang, why is the chromofuge in our evidence file? Feels like I've seen this before. That's right, there was one in David's lab. That's the nanograde elementary manufacturer, nanofacturer for short. Real high-quality piece of machinery, each of them built in-house by Randock Mechanics. What does it do? Nano-level flash fab. Flash fabrication. A method of manufacturing artificial microscopic compounds that utilize parallel nesting to assemble billions of simple structures in minutes or even seconds. Nanomachines have been around for the better part of a century, but the time and resources required for their construction through traditional means was, historically, prohibitively expensive, limiting exploration and investment, in nanotech. In the years since flash fabrication's introduction, use of and demand for nanomachines has exploded, and scientists, doctors, and product designers have found brand new niches for them across every industry. Concerns about the ecological impact of this surge in nanomachine construction have been raised, though the official stance of the Nanolife Industrial Lobbying Group has remained unwavering. Case surprise. Nothing that small can possibly leave that big of an ecological footprint. Wow, you're so right. Who knows, a fun surprise for later, yeah. Yeah, sleep tight, Zalcal. Thank you so much for the raid, and we'll catch you around. No. Basically, a 3D printer for nanomachines. You build nanomachines in your factories for use in your androids? The raw materials are cheap, literally elementary, so no sense in getting them shipped in. It's mostly the medical models that make use of them. Inject a couple thousand nanites into a patient's bloodstream, run diagnostics, and provide a solution. A 3D printer for nanomachines. So what kind of ink does it use? Silicon, hydrogen, oxygen, and carbon. Building blocks. They feed into the nanoprinter and it assembles the machines particle by particle. Like a ribosome building structurally complex proteins out of chemically simple nucleic acids. Girl, What did you study in college? I mean, I can almost keep up with that. And I also learned that in college, so you get it, but must be time consuming. You would think, but Randock cracked the code on parallel microfactoring. The inside's crystalline, sprawling, like an ant's nest. Raw materials enter at one of the thousands of different entry points, combining and recombining at intersections. The finished product ends up at the center and drips out in a liquid solution. Distilled nectar swimming with millions of nanites in just 2 minutes. Distilled nanites into a liquid? Are you saying that this is what was used to kill David Ashore? Nectar. It's sticky. It can be, depending on the desired output. But the door vacuum seals while it's cooking, so don't worry. It's completely spill-proof. What a relief. Not exactly a box of paper clips David could just have brought home from the office one day. He must have bought his own for some reason. Nanofacturer, a machine capable of assembling organic or inorganic compounds, and even nanomachines after just 2 minutes of vacuum-sealed mixing. Found at Noble's factory show floor, machines just like it are used throughout the production process of making their warm androids. Yeah, so David Ashore could have said that he was going to his basement, just stopped in his lab, used the nanofacturer to like make some poison, and then come back. But like, why? All right. I think there's only one last thing to go over, so let's go over the ding dang boy. Oh, am I wrong? There's 2 more things to go over. An inhaler left out on the desk, probably a half dozen empty ones in one of the drawers. So interestingly, we have seen Jess Starling use... No. We have seen Jess Starling use the Adrashone, but we haven't seen Dawes use it yet. Dawes, the inhalers, they're distributed by the company, correct? Oh yeah, HR handles it. They personalize your dosage and prescription and update it based on performance and job fulfillment reviews. Other corporations do it the same way? Yeah, pretty much. Everyone's trying to keep pace with each other, so can't have your employees losing focus on the job. Could cost you who knows how much in lost efficiency. Sorry if this is insensitive, but given what happened to David, are overdoses common in the company? Yeah. Yeah, he says. Overdoses, that is, not hospitalizations or deaths. It's all pretty organized these days. Man, back when I started in consulting, pretty much everyone had an embarrassing story from their first 2 years where they popped a few too many greens and missed the on-ramp. Popped greens. Yeah, it used to be pills. Green to get you going, yellow to keep you there, swallow red after brushing your teeth and get into your bunk fast. Pixie with the purposeful downers. But yeah, the inhalers are at a huge improvement, like going from torches to the light bulb. They sync straight to your personal biomes and adjust dosage in real time. Overdoses are way down. That's great to hear. The trainees under me don't realize how good they've got it. Kids probably won't even have to learn how to purge. That's so... Wow! Sure, yep. Uh-huh. Yeah, I know, right? Funny. That's so funny is what I was going to say. Hee hee ho ho. What a funny thing that they're doing there. All right. This data pad looks like the last thing. What have we got on this data pad? Some kind of write-up? Oh. Oh, this is funny. Is this talking about the Uncanny Valley? Hold on. On the subject of Sullivan's Peak, much of our world today, and in fact much of our world's economy, is heavily influenced by the Uncanny Valley. The thought experiment provides a simple and easily applied explanation for the gaps we see in otherwise wide spectrum of automated dependence that assist us in nearly every industry on the planet. There's a very simple primal truth to it. We like things that resemble the living, like cartoons and puppets and toys. And we like things that are damn near indistinguishable from the living, like whatever name Noble's latest products are being sold under. But there are deep, deep trenches between those two ends, where products are universally appalling to human sensibility. The Uncanny Valley will no doubt remain a useful tool for teaching, marketing, and design for generations to come, but already we are seeing ways in which it fails. It is becoming increasingly clear to us that the space between nearly indistinguishable and truly indistinguishable is much wider than we ever suspected, and it may not be the only part of the map that we must fear. I propose we bridge these gaps in knowledge by looking to the speculative fiction of Robert J. Sullivan, who in his most well-known work, Equal Under One Sky, described a concept which thereafter has been called Sullivan's Peak. Through the lens of his characters in their so very divided world, Sullivan demonstrated that the Uncanny Valley does, in fact, have its own peak on the other side, a point past which making an artificial existence any more human in its features serves only to make the user experience more uncomfortable, more difficult, and more fraught with moral pitfalls. Once you reach Sullivan's Peak, traveling any further only has diminishing returns. The implications of this idea are far-reaching. We will very soon reach a point in which the designers of ads can only make their creations less lifelike or less likable, a hard stopping point for technological progress. What then, we must ask? Oop. Looks like you forgot to sign in on this device. Drop your thumbprint below and we'll get you squared away so you can keep reading. Surprised to find reading material like that around here. Were they passing it around as a gag, or are they actually afraid of Sullivan's Peak around here? Noble must be wary of it, dismissive of it. I fucking hate that I'm gonna get this wrong. Here's the thing. We already know that Noble is purposefully trying to make the blood, the oxidant, not look like blood. That's why they dye it with the pigment to make it pink. That can't be cheap. They have to be doing it for a purpose. They have to be wary of it. Right? The point past which making an artificial existence any more human in its features serves only to make the user experience more uncomfortable. The designers of ads can only make their creations less lifelike or less likable. They gotta be wary of it. Or is this a they're too big to fail situation? I'm going to assume they're wary of it. And then when I don't get my social credit points, I'm going to be very pissed off. If the peak does exist, they'll be coming up on it fast now that androids are warm. Noble's entire product line, maybe their entire industry, could go bottoms up if people start to think it's cruel. Okay, there we go. If Serra's any indication of where their androids are headed, I could see some people getting uncomfortable. All done? You ready to get the ad handled? Well, friends,
we're gonna have to get the ad handled next time, because that's all we have time for tonight. Thank you all so much for being here and for hanging out. I do greatly appreciate it. We're gonna go ahead and see if there's anybody streaming of the devil right now, so that way we can send a raid out and keep it going. Yeah, it looks like we got a couple of lads here and there. Oh. Oh no. Someone else is on the, like, it looks like almost the maybe exact same scene as me. So I cannot do that. Oh man. And Mangy Carface, thank you so much for being here. I do appreciate it. Astute analysis as always. Mangy Carface, who, what was the inspiration for Evan Dawes? Actually, I can't get involved in this. I would start making conspiracy, like, I will truly get, like, freaking reported to the state for my conspiracy theories. We are going to raid into Gen Brew. It looks like maybe they're a little bit farther behind us. So stick around, see if you can get any vibes on their analysis, and I will catch you guys later. Goodbye! I've just typed in commercial instead of raid. That's the wrong thing. I promise I'm good at streaming. Bye!